Hi, in this video we'll be talking about how to change a decimal into a fraction. But before we actually start converting our decimals to fractions, there is something important to know. There are three different types of decimals, and all three types of decimals behave in completely different ways. So first, we'll mention our terminating decimals. And the thing about the terminating decimals, those are really easy to work with. They're really easy to convert to fractions. If you get a problem like this on a test, rejoice and say yay because it's the easiest one. The next type of decimal that we'll be talking about are our repeating decimals. And we can convert this to a fraction, but it's a little bit harder, a little bit more involved. So let's put the face like this, like, okay, guess I'm gonna have to do this. And our last type of decimal is the non-terminating decimal. And the non-terminating decimals, things like, let me put an example under here, things like 2.1579128, something that keeps going and going and it has no order, nothing specific repeating, that type you cannot do at all. It cannot be done. So maybe for you that's a smile, but for me, I'll just put a little frowny face, like, why did the teacher give this to me? One eye is bigger than the other because you're like bugging out. You're like, this is not possible. True, it's not possible. All right, so let's start by looking at how to convert a terminating decimal to a fraction. Okay, so now we're going to start looking at how to convert a terminating decimal to a fraction. And a terminating decimal is exactly what it sounds like. It terminates, it ends, it does not keep going on and on. So these two examples are both terminating decimals. All right, so when you see a terminating decimal, you want to look at what place that last digit is in. And in this case, that last digit is in the 10th place. And whatever place that last digit is in will be the denominator of your fraction. So it is over 10 because that last digit is in the 10th place. All right, then you look at the number or numbers or the digit or digits after the decimal point, and that becomes your numerator. And so in this case, our fraction is 7 over 10. All right, so below is a little trickier because now we have a whole number. The whole number just stays the whole number. We still look at the digit, the last digit, and what place that last digit is in. And in this case, that last digit is in our hundredths place, which means that our denominator is 100. And we're still going to make our numerator everything that is after the decimal point. So our numerator is 12. And so that's how you convert a terminating decimal to a fraction. All right, let's look at the fun one. Okay, so this one is going to be slightly more challenging than the other one, but you totally can handle it. All right, so here we have a repeating decimal. You know it's repeating because there is a bar above some of our digits here. This bar tells you that the numbers underneath the bar repeats. So for example, if we were to write this out, it would look a little something like this. It would be 0.939393939393 forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay, now that you know that, let's talk about what to do with this. All right, so the first thing that you want to do here is you want to call this a variable. So let's make x equals 0.93 with the bar over it. All I did was give 0.93 a nickname, and the nickname is x. All right, now the next thing that we want to do is look at how many repeating decimal digits there are. So there are 2 repeating digits. There is the 9 and the 3. So that is key because we're going to have to multiply both sides by a power of 10. Now I know this seems crazy, but trust me, it's going to work. So we're going to multiply both sides of our equation by 10 to the power of 2. And where did the power of 2 come? Again, it came from the fact that there are 2 digits that are repeating. So we're going to do that to both sides. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other side. And remember, 10 to the power of 2 is just equal to 100. So really all I'm saying is we're multiplying both sides of our equation by 100. So on the left side, we get 100x. And on the right side, we get 93.93. Repeating. All right. Hope that makes sense so far. All we did so far, we gave 0.93 repeating a nickname, and then we decided to multiply by a power of 10. Specifically, 10 to the second power since there are 2 digits repeating. All right. Now that you're with me, let's keep going. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take x away from both sides. Ultimately, our goal here is to see what this is as a fraction with no decimals involved. By taking x away from both sides, that will take us one step closer to where we need to be. But remember that x has another name. Remember that x is actually 0.93 repeating. So we're actually going to go ahead and take 0.93 away from that side. We're taking x away from both sides, but it just looks different on the left than it does on the right. All right, we're almost there. Don't panic. Things will be okay. We get 99 is equal to 93. Sorry, 99x is equal to 93 because 100x minus x is 99x. All right, now we have some whole numbers and the rest is not so bad. We're trying to get x alone, so we can divide both sides by 99, the inverse operation here. We're dividing both sides by 99, and we get that x is equal to 93 over 99. And look at that. We've figured out the fraction. All right, you may have to pause that and go back and watch this a couple times, but you'll get it. Don't worry.